Hi everybody, I'm Ian.
I'm Shaggy.
I'm Chris.
This is Nick.
We don't know if you heard him.
We don't know. We didn't test it with him, so he might not come up, but that's okay. It's okay. The ninja has arrived for once, and he's wearing his nice little kappa suit, and he looks cool. I think he looks cool. I think everybody looks cool but me. I look like a fucking moron.
You are so out of place.
I know, right? I'm sitting between 3 people in Kigurumis.
This anime couch is not for you.
Can't leave. But hey, the couch is pretty much full. I mean, we're only missing one person.
Yeah.
That's Oda.
He can lay on our laps.
Yeah. Lap.
That's a little fine. Okay, that's fine. Who gets what part?
I call it head.
Oh, okay.
That means I get his feet.
That means
That means I get to tickle him.
Oh,
Nick gets to tickle him too.
He'll squirm.
But we're
And curse us.
We're a little full here for the first time, so it's actually really great to do this on a nice Saturday afternoon. I would say. So this is another AmeetsV. We have some nice internet news to talk about. We're going to talk a little bit about each, see where our thoughts are with some of it, and we're going to skip over some of the articles that were predetermined, but we still may include them in the links below.
Here, maybe, down.
Somewhere down here, not over here or over here, but down here.
With no adaptations here or here, you want to seek the description down there.
Yes. So one of the first few things that I want to talk about is the fact that the Kid Icarus Uprising AR cards are now for sale in the United Kingdom.
Aye, to the motherland.
So it seems like Europe has finally beaten us on the game front, and they're getting everything that we used to get, and now we're not getting jack squat. How do you feel about that?
I've always had a problem with what we get from video games. And
Yeah, if we learn anything,
Yeah.
we're always disappointed.
We're always
couch to
disappointed.
prove something. Where is it?
What?
Where is it?
What?
You own it. Where is it?
What?
You have that one. Where's the other one?
Top one. Dead or alive. Far right. By the joysticks.
There it is.
Okay.
Okay. To prove a point, I had to leave frame. This is the 360
American.
Castlevania Lords of Shadows.
Special edition release.
Special edition release, which Chris owns. It's a very nice thing. It's got the soundtrack, the art book with less pages, and the 2-disc game. Chris?
And a week ago, the Japanese copy, I don't want to block Nick's face,
You're blocking Nick's face.
Japanese copy of Castlevania came in, and it includes the game, extended art book, that's a lot of pages,
Yeah.
and a very nice jewel case for the soundtrack. Right through this. And best of all, it comes in a box!
A
Box!
A nice box.
A
very nice box.
A very nice box, yes. I was about to say that myself.
But not some little thingy.
Not a dinky slipcover case.
Yeah.
So it's just kind of the thing that, you and I talk about it a lot, that when we get special editions, we really, most of the times, get gypped unless the company's from America.
Yeah, because Assassin's Creed 2 came with sculpture. Arkham City
Came with sculpture. So did Skyrim. Skyrim came with the dragon.
The art book.
Guild Wars 2 is coming with a figure of the Char.
Yeah.
Which are like these flaming lizard people, which are like cat people also.
Kingdoms of Amalur, whatever it is.
Amalar.
Amalar. That had a $250 special edition with a figure signed by one of the 3 creators.
What about Steel Battalion? That old game.
That was a controller though.
That was
necessary for the game.
But it's still a nice controller.
Yeah, but looking at like Hyperdimensional Neptunia Mark II, the American release came with an art book and a soundtrack and a deck of cards. The Japanese release came with an art book, the soundtrack, and 2 figures.
Yeah. And the AR cards are supposed to be like this big thing for Uprising. Like, they actually work with the game. So it's kind of a little weird to find that you're not getting the full deal with your game because the cards aren't being sold in America. It's kind of like how the old Pokemon events happened in Japan a lot, but it rarely happened here in America.
Well, I can actually fill in a lot of that, actually. With the Pokemon centers in Japan, they release, of course, all the plushies, event Pokemon that you can only get there. Like, if you remember, America eventually got them. It was for, I think it was Heart Gold. No, Black and White. You got the color variations of the 3 legendary beasts.
Oh, and then you also had Diamond and Pearl was releasing certain events throughout the GameStops.
Eventually, in one of the newer games, they released Ash's Pikachu.
Yeah.
I have yet
to find that. But it's just essentially also like they have road shows and tournaments and all this stuff in Japan, and because the American market is just so different, people want to stay locked up in their homes playing their video games versus like going outside or going to their local game shop to play games, i.e. what card gamers do, which, you know, I'm a part of that generation, so I know.
Mingle.
Yeah, out and mingle, like how we used to do when we played Yu-Gi-Oh! And Magic, and how I still do when I play L5R on the rare occasions that I do. But it's a little upsetting that it doesn't happen anymore, and because of that, our fan base has dwindled in a certain retrospect, in a certain area, rather.
Well, since we're talking about how we're being cheated in video games, do you want to talk about Capcom?
Why not jump straight to that article? Oh my god.
Capcom.
Keep your voice down on this, don't rage.
I promise not to get too angry, and I promise to not yell. But for those of you who know me, there are 2 game companies out there that I can't stand. I can't stand Blizzard, and I can't stand Capcom. And I really can't stand Blizzard for what they're doing right now with Diablo 3. The whole buying a digital copy, you have to wait maybe up to 72 hours in order to be able to play the full game. That's bullshit. Capcom, with their long and returning business practices, as it is, of the we're going to put characters on the disc for convenience sake, and then you have to unlock them later, and some of these characters are completed, but you just don't get to play them. You have to pay to play with those characters, even though they're on the disc. They just recently came out stating that since it's EVO, they are going to put the DLC on sale, and it's going on sale for $20. That's pretty much almost $20. It's 1,600 Microsoft points. $20 on the PS3, and so it's nice that it's on sale. But if you buy the Vita version, if you own a Vita, which I plan to own a Vita soon, but if you own the Vita version, you're getting all of those characters for free, and you're also getting the 38 other main roster costume swaps for free as well. Which, right there, absolutely upset me. I like the fact
that it can be shared with the PS3 version of the game too.
Yeah.
So the only people who are getting really shafted are Xbox.
Are Xbox owners, which it's like, okay. EVO runs all of their games on PS3. Major tournaments run all of their games on PS3. If you go to a local shop, maybe like the one here in town, Arcade in a Box, they run theirs on the 360, but they don't run. So they have to pay an additional $20 just to get these characters. And there's actually a fan base for this at Arcade in a Box here in Tucson, Arizona. So that's interesting, but it's so... Listen, you should never do this. If you're an aspiring game developer and your company wants to do this, tell them no. Just tell them no. Microsoft prices things on their Xbox Live arcade so they can make money, and they share, of course, a small margin of the profits with the actual company. So we here at TDP would like to apologize to those buying Dawn Guard on the 360 because
It comes out first on the 360, but in a sense, how we see it, I thought it was a beta before the PC people and the PS3 people get it fully patched, updated, and fixed. Not as glitchy, but
yeah, and
better version.
And we apologize to both PS3 and Xbox 360 owners because basically you're paying for DLC, and well, we really don't know yet if we're paying for Dawn Guard, but there is a huge chance that we're not.
Because on the PC, anytime a new DLC is released for Oblivion, Skyrim, or Left 4 Dead, it's free. They're like, here you go, guys.
Yeah, so if Bethesda's charging for it, good for them. Equality all around.
I'm okay with it. They even released a Elder Scrolls MMO.
Yeah.
So far, I've seen a couple screenshots, and what people say, and you can't, do much about it. It's like WoW-like, but what game nowadays isn't like another game that's already out?
Yeah, so we'll have a little bit more news on the whole Oblivion MMO front, but for right now, there's just really not much to talk about that until later.
Should we move to anime for a little bit?
We can talk about some anime. Yeah.
I know Nick's been seeing some anime.
Nick, do you know anything on the anime news front, or are you just gonna...
You would have to speak up.
Not much?
Just watching Yakuza Calling, like, over, but it's a good series. There's a lot of references, but I didn't get caught up on that one, so it's not much I can really explain about it.
One of the things I do know is DC3, DeCapo 3, the visual novel, is getting a TV anime. One of the only reasons why I would know this is because when I looked at DeCapo, I was all like, oh, that's in this card game I'm getting into. That set also just recently came out as well. And then the Tiger and Bunny anime, the movie, the beginning, the trailer for that is out. So you can go check that out on YouTube. We'll have a link down below for that. And one of the other things I know is second season for Dog Days, which if Toshi was here, we'd have like a 15-minute conversation because Toshi loves this anime. He's a Dog Girl fan.
He likes some dog girls.
He does like them dog girls. Yeah. So, the only other thing I know about is Sailor Moon, the manga, the new manga, is getting a new anime adaptation. So congratulations to them. Congratulations to Sailor Moon fans. I, for one, probably will not watch it.
I'm just wondering, is it going to be a reboot of the series or
Continuation.
continuing season?
Who knows? At this present time.
As fellow gentlemen, we may watch some of that.
Maybe, as long as Who Did the Four Kids doesn't do the...
Oh. I do know something else. We're going back to Tiger and Bunny for a second. The voice for Tiger has been announced. For those of you who watch Bleach, the English VA for Tiger is going to be the voice of... he's portrayed by the voice of Renji Abarai, the 6th lieutenant in the 6th Division. Yeah. So, I've heard the trailer. Some of them sound alright, some of them sound annoying. I gotta say, I'm very impressed with Yuri Lowenthal's Bunny. I didn't think he would really be able to pull off Barnaby, but he really pulls the character really well. And Kari Walgreen as Blue Rose is just fantastic. So, if you guys haven't checked that out, I'll see if I can put it down below. But no deals, because who knows if that's been taken off the internet or not, or been posted in a better quality by Viz. Going back to games for a little bit, back to Nintendo, because everybody here loves Nintendo. 2 more Nintendo things. So, the Wii U, as we spoke about, you and me, we talked about how the Wii U doesn't have very many big guns coming out. A lot of games that are big name hit franchises from the first party. No, there was a Mario title announced, no Zelda title announced, no Metroid, no Star Fox. Well, That may change. We can't say when exactly, but we can say that Miyamoto's top 2 choices for the Wii U that he'd like to see games for, franchise editions, is definitely Metroid and Star Fox. So the Star Fox fans, you guys could be getting a new game. That would be very fantastic.
Which we haven't seen anything new since, what, GameCube?
Assault, actually, for the DS.
Yeah.
Am I correct?
It's
Command, I'm sorry, Command. Assault was on the GameCube. So, we haven't seen anything since Command. I personally would love a new Star Fox game, but I would really like it if they picked it up with, like, a distant relative down the tree of Star Fox's family. Like, when I mean down, I mean push it into the future a bit. Give us some new characters, some new story, a new plot. I was having this talk with Nick outside, and that just seems like it would be a really good idea to me. These are really your franchises. I mean, I saw Other M at GameStop for $10 brand new, and I thought about buying it just because I haven't played it yet. But these are really your franchises. So,
Do you want to talk a bit about this?
do you want to? How do you feel?
I would love to see a new Metroid game. They could do something that takes place after Fusion. They could do a remake of 2. That would be really nice.
Oh, yeah.
A remake of 2 would be really good. I think we
I-
talked about that too.
I would just like something that fixes Team Ninja's kind of story problems, because they just totally they took a really strong female character and made her weak in what would be the middle of the game span, and I hated that.
Yeah, there were a lot of up in arms things about fans where Samus being written weakly, not being written like the strong female character she is. That's a little bit upsetting. I, for one, would like to see a sequel to Fusion. A lot. Because Fusion is where the story cuts off, and I want to see more after that. It's kind of like, they have this thing with Metroid where they like to bounce around the timeline, which is great. It's not like Zelda where here is like the latest game in the series, and then everything that we put out after that is before it, 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 till we get to Skyward Sword. Now they have no room to go backwards. And if they tried to,
They have in-betweens.
they have in-betweens. I would actually really like to see in-betweens. Like, the major in-between I would really like to see them fill is the Unification War that is listed in the timeline, because the only part that I really like about the timeline is everything before it splits. That's all I have to say. Because they stick Oracle Ages and Oracle Seasons both in one timeline. It doesn't happen in 2 different timelines at a separate time, which it should, because it could happen to merge the 2 winning timelines back together. And you could have the failed timeline still, that is really what I feel like it should have been. And that is the only thing I would retcon out of that timeline. But for Metroid, I just really want to see something more with the fusion suit. Be it she's either still wearing it or she goes back to like using the barrier or whatever. I don't care. Just give me a new Metroid game that takes place continuing our story. The other, for you 3 gentlemen, the other big Nintendo news is that...
This is ours.
It's not really news. It's still just a rumor at this point.
It's still like a highly speculated rumor.
Maybe. We don't know yet, but
It would be nice.
we're all... I know Nick's playing this right now.
He is playing Monster Hunter Tri-G
So,
for 3DS.
yeah, so basically, an analyst, David Gibson, came out and said that, well, anything's still possible. Every time I ask Capcom about Monster Hunter Tri-G coming out in the US, it's the same answer. No plans, but it's still possible. And of course, with Monster Hunter 4 now looming on the horizon, any time would be great for them to say,
Monster
Hold on. I would like to pause and just have us all squeal, because we saw the Monster Hunter 4 trailer.
We saw the Monster Hunter 4 trailer, and we
and
were
then
like,
a few scans, and we're like, oh my god! Okay.
so like 16-year-old girls.
Yeah, and it's they added how is it aerial? No, not aerial attacks.
You can jump off a cliff and try to land on the monster and swing your sword at it.
In midair.
You
So,
can also
like,
hop on their back and try to carve or inflict damage. We're not sure yet.
So Shadow of the Colossus style. Oh, that sells me. I'll buy Monster Hunter 4.
And while you're able, they're adding in more environmental features, so you can be climbing, and the monster can be attacking you.
And you can attack while you're on the wall.
Oh, see, sold, right there. Capcom, this division of Capcom, you've earned my money. Keep it up.
And there is the talks of an actual storyline for the individual character going through.
Yeah,
a solo play.
Another thing that got the fans a little irked were Monster Hunter being on a 3DS versus staying on
the PSP.
On the PSP, or even moving the PS Vita. Or the Vita. And it's like, I have a friend in Japan who's really irked about it because, well, Monster Hunter's always been on Sony until it became, out of nowhere, they moved it to the Wii. With Try on the Wii.
Yeah.
And people are like, well, why did they do this move? Well, during their time, it would have been cost more expensive to make
the HD
to make the HD graphics more amazing and put it on a PS3. Otherwise, but in Japan, how many people own a Wii? A lot of people own a Wii in Japan. So you make a game that's, how many people have this? You might as well target this major people who have this console. And then it sold to Japan, they did really well. But here, how many people own a Wii? Oh, I'm sorry, the question is, how many people still play the Wii?
There's not a lot of love for the Wii here in America, but that's also because mainly that a lot of the games that come out in America for the Wii are these childish games where you look at some of the games that are still developed over there in Japan. You've got like Fatal Frame 4, Fatal Frame 5.
Yeah,
just to name two of them.
You got dark games.
Yeah, you got
more mature audience games.
No More Heroes. You have a lot more of a mature games that come out in Japan. What you guys don't understand is that we want those. We want those a lot.
Nintendo doesn't say it.
Here you go.
Nintendo, we want those. Yeah, come on, bring them over.
Yeah,
but
seriously,
the only thing we get
pay money for that.
The only thing we
Fortune Street.
How to put it? If we're only able to get these games, we're gonna do what, like some of us did. Hey, we're gonna buy the Japanese console and then get the game. I bought a Japanese console just for Monster Hunter Tri, and then eventually Monster Hunter Tri came here, and I was like, I'm buying the game too, even if I don't have an American Wii. I'm still buying the bloody game.
And then he came to live with me, and I owned an American Wii, so
and I was
ended up playing it on mine.
Why not? But another thing with Monster Hunter, when you get to a game, the game that gets converted over to the States, events for the game change.
A lot of stuff changes.
Yeah, but I mean, like, event-wise, you would have an item.
It's licensing. That's the problem.
Yeah, but like for things like the pirate weapons, or certain things like one of
like Jump or Famsu.
Yeah, like Famsu would do these things. In America versus Japan, in Monster Hunter Tri, you have the Japanese event to get the longsword, which is the Tetsaiga from Inuyasha. In America, they have a contest to redo some of the weapons due to, well, licensing issues. And like, well, we called the Tenebrae. You could be a little more creative on the name, guys.
Yeah,
just a smidge. But the weapon itself, it looks pretty good for what it is. Yeah, but I still would, want the Tetsaiga.
Yeah, it's. I wish they could go when they bring it over to America. I wish what they could do is go to the American licensing company and say, we want this. We already have this in Japan, but we also want this in America. You guys are the people distributing it here in America. Would you allow that? And
it'd also be less work on them to actually rewrite game data to.
Yeah. So they wouldn't have to.
It'll be less work on that front, but they're gonna have to use that. They're gonna take that same work and then apply it to getting the license and then paying for that license. So it's a trade-off.
It's just a matter of give them compensation for or whatever.
it was me and I worked at and I worked higher up in Funimation, and they came to me and they were all like, "You guys still have the rights to Case Closed, Detective Conan. Can we put some stuff in there?" Yeah, go for it. I don't care. Do it.
Actually, now that you
Seriously,
brought
do
it up, there's
why you
Conan
brought it
armor
up.
for
Yeah,
That's
Portable
why he brought it
3rd.
up.
That's why I brought it up. It's the same thing with Metal Gear Solid. If I worked
Yep.
for Konami of America and they came to me, and I would be like, just do it. Seriously, that's free publicity for me. Honestly.
Again, in Monster Hunter Portable 3rd, boss and snake armor.
And in Charge, you get Kiro Benson,
Oh, really?
Sergeant Frog.
Oh,
Sergeant
really?
Frog stuff. Awesome.
Oh,
See?
wow.
And who says Monster Hunter people are fun people at all?
So moving on, I'm kind of interested in this, but I'm also kind of not. But it is news nonetheless, and that is the Little Big Planet karting beta pulls into PSN on July 10th. And I just read the entire, not the entire article, but the entire headline of the article because, well, it's a pun, and I like puns. I'm iffy, but because it's basically Mod Nation Racers,
Which was basically Mario Kart.
but you can make your own tracks.
Ooh.
Ooh. So it's the exact
Have
same
you seen
thing.
them
It's
make a
just-
level on Little Big Planet? They're horrible.
Yeah, most of them. I
Yeah.
haven't seen. I want to see if this is different though.
Hopefully.
I would really like to hope that this one is going to be different. I would really like to hope that this is going to be sort of Mod Nation Racery, because I really like the Mod Nation Racer one. I sat there and I made a track and on the demo, and I really enjoyed doing that. I gotta wait and see. I'm not sure. You guys can still sign up online. We'll have the link in the description through joystick.com. Really good news site. Ooh. This one's cool. I don't know how much this book is because there's no
Release
price.
date?
There's
No.
no price. There's a pre-order, but there's no price. I don't know. Maybe on Amazon you'll find out what the pre-order is. But the history of Sonic the Hedgehog is now available for pre-order on Amazon.
Huh.
The book is going to be a 300-page book that covers the entire history of the Blue Hedgehog, and it's going to include every single 2D and 3D game, every spin-off game and crossover, even every rare cameo appearance throughout the Sega universe.
I'm sold.
If you're not a Sonic, if you are a Sonic fan, this is a great addition to your library or coffee table. Period. I don't even care how much it costs. I would really like it. And it's just, yeah, I really just can't wait to read about this if any one of us buys it. Like, I'm seriously thinking about purchasing it myself when I have the money. So, oh yes.
For all the Persona people.
For all of you Atlus fans, Atlus has explained, we will have the article, but Atlus has explained the reason why P4A, Persona 4 Arena, is region locked and expresses a surprise at the disapproval of the community and its force behind this. I, for one, really don't care because they announced the fact that the tracks for both voices, English and Japanese, will be in the English game, so I'm very happy about that, and I cannot wait to see if I can change only certain voices, because I only want to hear certain characters. Yeah. I really don't mind region locking. I've never had a problem with it, honestly. I love the PS3 though for the fact that it's not region coded at all.
Yeah, that's...
Technically.
Technically, yeah. Well, we got Ace Another Century R, and oh man, that game was so much fun. I wish we still had it.
Let's not say how I broke that game.
That game was terrible in your hands, but
I'm a bad pilot.
I really wish we had that game still. Oh yeah. So, Minecraft, Xbox Live Arcade Skin Pack is now going to also include Master Chief, as well as Explosion Man, one of the scientists from it, an old school Trails Evolution guy.
Looks like a squid on the far left.
Yeah, I have no idea what that thing is on the far left. But,
And I'm
it's
assuming
gonna
you have to pay for these.
No. Yeah, of course you are.
That's why PC is Master Race.
40 different skins with this skin pack, so I don't know what the price is.
Oh,
on
on
it.
this topic of Minecraft, they're actually doing a custom 360
$20.
Minecraft edition of the
Oh, that's
360. The
Minecraft.
contest is you have to build something amazing. Well, this seems like Minecraft enough.
Yeah, well. So it's got a lit. It's gonna have Explosion Man's Creeper,
Looks like the King
Covenant
of Albion.
Grunt,
Looks like the King of Albion.
possibly the King of Albion.
For all the Fable fans.
Yep. So we don't really know if what the price is. So we'll just have to wait a little bit longer to see that. Talk about that. Yes, just a really quick few quotes coming from the gaming industry. The number one quote that I basically laughed so hard at was Nintendo is building a platform that is effectively a 360. Says Phil Spencer, VP of Microsoft Studios, commenting about the Wii U and its power level. Well, I would say its power level is over 9,000.
Don't!
But that's just me. One of the other ones that are really, I'd really disapprove of this, but we are going to be a 100% digital company, period. It's going to be someday, it's inevitable, says Frank. I don't want to pronounce his last name because if I do, what? Jojo, head of EA Labels, talking about the future of Electronic Arts. So, like, really?
I'm still one of those guys. I can't see myself spending $20 for
On a digital copy?
just a digital copy. Yeah, even $20 though, because
We all like our physical copy, the feel.
Arcana
and-
Hearts 3 is $30 on the PS3. I imported it from Japan just so I could play that game.
Sometimes a physical copy beats a digital download.
It does. Just
Yeah, like there's certain things that, oh, we give you some cool bonuses. Oh, that's cool, but I want to be able to hold my game.
If I want to go to my friend's house and play the same game, I don't want to have to take my whole console. I
Yeah.
want to take the game. Not a login code either.
Yeah.
So if you're a Club Nintendo person, the gifts suck less now. Apparently now you can download a free game, games that have come out this month for free if you're...
If you reach gold or level, or gold or platinum status, which is you bought a lot of Nintendo games and you actually registered them.
Yeah. So Super Mario Kart, The Legend of Zelda Majora's Mask for the Wii Virtual Console, Metroid 2, The Return of Samus for the 3DS Virtual Console, and Mario vs. Donkey Kong Minis March Again from the DSiWare. I don't know. I would still like some of the stuff like the posters and the deck of cards.
Oh, you can still get that. It's
Well,
just-
yeah. I'm just saying. Like a lot of people are like, this is stupid and terrible. I'm like,
Well,
I would pay good money for those.
that's the only way you can get the Game & Watch Gallery Collections 1 and 2 is to get, I don't know, 1,400 points.
Yeah. So like that's a big deal to like you and me as collectors.
Yeah, because that's the only way you can really get those unless you can find a used copy
Good
or
luck.
somebody has sold it. Yeah.
Yeah. Right.
Good luck.
Good luck.
But a lot of these things, they are only done for a limited time. And some of it's pretty good, some of it's kind of meh.
More outrage, more outcries coming from the Borderlands fans, Gearbox. To put it quite frankly, Gearbox put up an official posting of what you'll get skin-wise for your character if you have a Borderlands save when you go to play Borderlands 2. And none of it's really all that game-changing. You get like Borderlands gear that says Borderlands on it. It's red and yellow, and you'll see it. I think it looks pretty cool, but everybody's up in arms because none of it's the original characters. You don't get designs of the original characters, and you don't get skins for them, which, you know, you're going to have to pay to get those more than likely. That's probably going to be DLC down the line.
Yeah.
Just like Left 4 Dead did. So you might not even have to pay. You might get it for free, but you'll probably
For
have to pay.
PC.
No, not even for PC. Gearbox charges for PC.
They do, huh?
Yeah, that's why I got the Game of the Year edition for Borderlands, because they charge like $10 an expansion pack. To be fair, it's like another 20 hours of gameplay on top of what you already have. So
Yeah.
that's just something to think about. And last but not least, in the gaming world, JoJo Bizarre's Adventure All-Star Battle as a trailer.
Which has Oda all over the place.
Oda, Lane, every
Hard.
JoJo's fan is creaming themselves over the fact that CyberConnect, which is a really good game company who makes all of the Dot Hack games, is releasing this game. You know what? Good for CyberConnect. They need more properties. This is probably going to be a great game. I necessarily don't know because I haven't read JoJo's Bizarre Adventure at all. Neither Steel Ball Run. I haven't read Chapter 4. I haven't read Chapter 5. I haven't read anything about JoJo's. And I probably should, but it's so long, and I'm already into like 2 big franchises that are extremely long. And I'm not even caught up in either one of those at all.
So far, the only thing I'm really hoping for is that it's going to be like Dead or Alive 5, and it's like, hey, look, we're going to release a completed game.
I'm actually hoping for a completed game as well, but that I'm hoping, one of the things that I will hope for with this game is that it is going to include characters from other chapters. That's probably a fallacy in my head, but I haven't watched the trailer, so if anyone knows anything, you can like yell at me. That's fine, I really don't care. But, you know, like all of the Joestars in this game. But that's pretty much it, like on the news front. What have you been doing recently? Let's go down the line and do that real fast. What have you been doing recently?
Looking at Japanese game releases, and Hyperdimensional Neptunia V comes out August.
Yeah.
In Japan.
In
And
Japan.
again, they got a really nice special edition.
The tournament are going to be here August 16th at Tucson, Arizona. Oh my God, so hyped. 2
And
days
in-
before my birthday.
And in Phoenix on the 15th.
Yes.
The venues have not been announced yet, ticket prices either, but...
Oh man, I still want to see them so badly.
And then we have been watching Oh My Goddess.
Yes.
Oh my God, it's Lupin. We've still been watching Lupin. We have to start watching that again.
We gotta finish that.
I've been watching One Piece with Joyce, aka Luluko. So that's been fun. I've been meaning to plan to live blog it while we've been watching it, but never gotten around to it. That was a little racist. Nick, what have you been doing?
Not much. Just playing my sort of tri-G. Just trying to get ranked up so I can see about making the armors. So I would like to do some cosplay for the armor.
We hope to get some of that stuff done and mapped out. I still have to make the Recall's Gunner version. I'll try to get it mapped. See, that's the downside. If you want to make armor cosplays and there's no images for it, you gotta do the old traditional fashioned way. Go in game, make it, and map it out yourself.
Yep. What about you, sir?
I'm actually I'm trying out Dungeon Fighter Online again. Because I thought of like, let's see what's new and updated right now. Well, they added, last time I checked, they added the male monk, or the male fighter class. Okay, that's cool, which is the same thing as the female fighter class, but they added different move sets and some things, maybe a different stat boost here and there. The new one they added was the male Shota boy mage.
The male mage.
Which
looks
I
stupid.
found weird because the female mage, because in DFO they classify everybody with a different difficulty. And okay, mage is hard. Okay, we understand that mages are usually hard to play because they're really more reliant on their magic. The male mage is easy class oriented, and there's no difference in anything except for he has more speed. I'm like, oh, okay, whatever. I played DFO a long time ago when they introduced the thief, and then they deleted my account because I didn't play for like 9 months or so, or more. And well, like all games, if you don't play for such a long time, they're like, we need to free up some space. We have like 5,000 characters who haven't been used, and they haven't logged in since. Delete and wipe. Okay, that's fine. So I'm going back to see what's changed, what feels new. If you don't know what DFO is, it's like, in a sense, your old arcade style beat 'em up thing like Streets of Rage, Final Fight, and pretty much games that you play in the arcade, like the old Ninja Turtles. But they added an RPG aspect to it, and you can play with other people, and blah blah blah.
Basically, it's one of the best free-to-play games ever that we stopped playing because we had other things we were playing, and then we just never got around to
It
playing
was too
again.
time-consuming just to run, like, get the will to go. It is a bit repetitive, but when you get to the highest levels, you finally utilize all the skills you really want to try and whatnot. But like every game, any MMO actually, the game sucks at a low level. But when you get to the higher levels, the game starts to pick up.
Oh no, I would disagree kind of sort of with that.
Which game?
DC Universe was fun for me throughout all of the levels of play. It was slightly slow, but it wasn't as slow as like as like World of Warcraft or something for me. And then Knights of the Old Republic, I stopped playing that game because I can't pay for a subscription, but the moment I can, they will have my money again because that was a really fun game for me. I don't care what anybody else says. I enjoyed it.
I have played DC, and I would say it's all right. It's not the best, it's not the worst. It's okay for what it is.
It is okay.
And then now that it's gone free to play, it's still okay.
To wrap it up, I haven't been doing much. Been playing League, teaching Joyce to play League. That's pretty much what I've been. Jace, the Defender of Tomorrow, came out today. He looks pretty cool. I haven't played him yet. I'm probably going to try to somehow, some way. Preferably, I would probably try him out on somebody else's screen name, so I don't have to buy him myself. One of the things you noticed we didn't talk about was Final Fantasy VII get a PC release, re-release. We don't care. It's just Final Fantasy VII. Nobody cares here in this house.
Unless it's an HD remix, I don't care.
Yeah.
I mean, I want it like that tech demo they ran at the PS3.
You're never going to get it because they've come out and stated that the only way you're going to get it is if a Final Fantasy game sells more copies than Final Fantasy VII. And for some reason, it hasn't happened. That's their fault. It's not mine. I don't care. I honestly don't care. That 7 is terrible. 7 is... Oh, man.
Where the fan base is younger than the game.
Great. So, that was another AmeetsV. I think we should do this more often.
Bye-bye!
With less me being out of place.
Bye-bye!